Who wants to go first?
Delete the platypus. That's my.
Necromancy is about to receive some heavy experience nerfs, while Invention seems to be getting a significant XP buff. Let's talk about it, so whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. As you may already know, rituals are currently the fastest way to train Necromancy all the way up to 200 mil XP. This is assuming you're doing them at the higher levels. The mods feel like this is too far from the combat XP rate, and thus they want to nerf the amount of XP you gain from all those ritual disturbances, as that's where the majority of your XP comes from.
We will be we are going to reduce XP from random events. Not this Monday, can't guarantee a date.
About like how much the XP has changed or not. I don't know if you want to.
Currently, we're planning on halving it. That's just what Timbo and I have discussed this week.
Now that is a heavy nerf, and because the community reacted to this livestream, the initial proposal at 50% has been reduced down to 20 to 25% based on feedback from the players on the socials. Additionally, the mods are looking into tweaking the amount of XP you gain at the end of the ritual to balance it out even further, because they don't want it to be overtuned compared to other combat methods. They're also looking into changing the protection glyphs function to extend the length of ritual disturbances. This could potentially be an XP per hour buff if it would allow you to interact with something like the Soul Storm more than 3 times, now that that duration is extended. It could also just be a larger time window for you to react to the disturbance before it disappears. The mods are looking into smoothing out Invention XP gain, and that will result in a major Invention XP buff. Currently, offhands only gain 50% item experience and therefore level 50% slower than main hand weapons. The plan is to have main and offhand weapons match and gain the same amount of item experience for every combat experience gained. Therefore, two-handed weapons also need a 50% buff to have 200% total to be equal to a main and offhand weapon working together.
We're going to make main hand offhand 100 XP, 100 XP. And then two-hand bolstered to the combined value. So two-hand would be 200, not 150. The XP changes when Necro came in. So right now it's something like 4% or 4.1% of your XP from combat gets converted to weapon XP. So looking like that's going to be going towards 4.5 to 5%. So a pretty hefty buff there.
The mods are also looking into smoothing out certain combat buffs such as the Slayer Helmet, the Genocidal perk, and the Revenge ability. Apparently, these buffs currently apply disproportional damage boost to certain abilities. Did you guys know that? Because I sure as hell didn't. Now, I think it's weird that we do not have some kind of necromancy container and that it's not higher on the priority list, because having to bring your runes along in your inventory right now and your ectoplasm is just annoying. Now, the mods have already talked about creating a necromancy rune pouch or container, but here's what they said in the most recent livestream.
Yeah, we didn't create rune pouch on release intentionally. In the future, at some point, we would like to add a container, not necessarily a rune pouch, but as everyone likes to call it, a container for things such as ectoplasm and your runes. But that's not something that we're planning to release next week. We're not doing it as part of post-release feedback. It's something we have ideas for down the line. And more specifically, we also have ideas for how to better implement it, I guess, than how the rune pouches are right now. The intention going forward would be that you never need to have more than one, I guess is the way of putting it. And if there was ever a reason to have different ones, because let's just say one of them boosts your, off the top of my head, let's just say it boosts your blood abilities to have it equipped. If you were to ever swap to a different one that boosts your soul abilities, you wouldn't have to take the runes out of it and put it in the other one. That's kind of a TLDR, but basically, we're not doing it right now. We have ideas for it. It will come eventually, and it will be better than what you're probably expecting.
See you guys in winter 2023. That container better be as good as they say. I just want a container, man. The mods are looking into fixing and improving various things related to combat, including death scrolls no longer bouncing on immune targets, revolution fixes, and improving necrosis stack visibility. I'd like to highlight 2 combat changes they talked about on stream that I found particularly interesting. They're looking into, perhaps, this isn't certain or final, changing the Conjurer's adrenaline cost to summon them to 0%.
We are currently considering making all 3 of the Conjures, well, sorry, the Zombie and the Ghost, because the Skeleton is already free, and potentially looking at making them cost 0% to conjure regardless. So that means you would be able to conjure them outside and inside of combat for 0%.
I would personally prefer this, that's for sure. The mods are also looking into extending the timeout duration of the Spectral Scythe ability, so giving you more time to activate cast 2 and 3, so the Hurricane and Meteor Strike version of that scythe, before it just disappears. Because right now, what happens a lot with Revolution as well, is that you use the first scythe, maybe the second, but because another ability uses adrenaline or a different ability has priority, let's say conjuring your skeleton, you lose out on that third scythe because you're not fast enough. It just disappears too quickly and resets back to the first version and goes on cooldown. The ability itself is also going to get a major buff for areas where you're attacking more than 9 targets at once, for example in elite dungeons.
We increased the amount of NPCs or targets that it can hit from 9 on cast 2 and 3 to 25. To make up for the 5x5.
They're also looking to add a warning when attempting to start a ritual with a depleted alteration glyph, which is going to be amazing for those of you AFKing souls and not paying attention, because before you know it, your multiply glyph will be broken and you're getting less souls per ritual. Now let's talk about updates that are going to be arriving in next week's update. The buy limit of congealed blood will be raised from 1,000 every 4 hours to 5,000 every 4 hours, allowing you to more easily buy and stock up on this item to create super necromancy potion. The soul earned for the necromancy tank armor equipment upgrade task will no longer fill when a player uses a death touch dart on an active Reaper assignment, or when the active Reaper assignment has been killed in practice mode. I don't think this is a reason for worry, and it's simply a fix to stop people abusing these mechanics to more easily finish the Reaper assignment so that they can get their 290 tank armor. The Potter's Wheel in the City of will be usable. Dodging an attack using the Darkness Incantation or high-level Necromancy armor should now, or next week, properly trigger the auto-retaliate function. The Threads of Fate incantation has received a buff because the cooldown has been reduced from 60 seconds down to 45, and the duration has been increased to 6.6 seconds. A new teleportation option will be added to the dev's office, allowing you to get to the City of Val more easily. Where exactly that teleport will place you is not known just yet. This achievement no longer needs to be specifically done inside the Lumbridge Catacombs, and this achievement no longer needs to specifically be done in the Varrock sewers. Starting next week, you'll be able to see how much your ritual output is being affected by multipliers such as alteration glyphs inside the ritual minigame tab. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it interesting. If you did, leave a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.